Good afternoon, Shavua Tov, and welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm Raylene Marks, your host, with today's top stories. We have been following the build-up to the UK elections very closely over the last couple of months, and many of us heaving a huge sigh of relief as it emerged that Boris Johnson's Conservative Tory party roundly trounced Jeremy Corbyn's Labour Party. Jeremy Corbyn was voted by the Simon Wiesenthal Centre to be the year's worst anti-Semite, and many were concerned, including the chief rabbi of the UK and many in the Jewish community, of what could possibly happen if there was a Labour Party victory. Jeremy Corbyn, after the results were announced that he would be stepping down as leader of the Labour Party for a period of reflection and would not be leading the party to its next election campaign. He also blamed the media for his tremendous loss. Some of his allies, like former Mayor of London, King Livingstone, he himself also a former member of the Labour Party who was dismissed because of allegations of anti-Semitism, brought up the Jewish issue, saying that it did not help, and also notorious anti-Israel politician George Galloway weighing in, also basically blaming it on the Jews. Nevertheless, Britain followed the advice of Chief Rabbi Mervis and voted with their conscience, and we are relieved that there will come a time, or this improves the controversy of the last months or years or so, where many have been feeling that should Jeremy Corbyn win, they could be left politically homeless. In a major announcement coming from the new Conservative government, it was announced that they would be moving forward on legislation that would effectively see BDS termed as an anti-Semitic organisation. This legislation would mean that all public bodies would be banned from having any dealings with BDS. And addressing a conference in Jerusalem earlier today, Lord Pickles, who is the UK envoy for matters post-Holocaust, said that BDS is intrinsically anti-Semitic and he couldn't imagine Britain without its Jews. So this would make Britain yet another country, they seem to be following more and more, who are acknowledging that BDS is not a human rights movement, as they would have you believe, but rather an anti-Semitic one. Britain follows the Austrian Parliament, who will be announcing that they term BDS anti-Semitic, the German Bundestag, who have said that BDS is anti-Semitic, and the French lower parliament, who have equated anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism, which is at the heart of the BDS argument. So more and more countries are waking up to this fact, and we roundly applaud them. Some not so good news coming in from the United States, and there have been several incidents of anti-Semitism over the weekend, following last week's deadly shooting in Jersey City, which saw two members of the Jewish community, another civilian who actually worked in the kosher supermarket, and an off-duty officer murdered by two gun-wielding people who wanted to see some kind of justice in their terms dealt against the Jewish community. The details of the investigation are becoming more clear, and what we know is that anti-Semitism was definitely the motive of this attack, and that a possible target could have been the yeshiva that has 50 students right next door to the supermarket. The two perpetrators were members of the Black Israelites, which there is some debate about whether or not they are an anti-Semitic organization. There are elements within the FBI that regard them as so. Another bit of awful news coming in from Beverly Hills this time, and that is that a synagogue frequented by many members of the Persian Jewish community of that city, the synagogue was ransacked, and many of the Torah scrolls and holy implements inside were desecrated as well. The mayor of Beverly Hills saying yesterday that this was not just an attack on the Jewish community, but on an attack on the whole community. And in the third incident this past weekend, 3 members of a Jewish fraternity at the University of Indiana went to attend a party at another fraternity, and 11 boys beat them unconscious while saying racist and anti-Semitic epithets. This is also under investigation as a hate crime. In more positive news, it was announced today that Elbit, which is Israel's largest non-government-owned defense contractor, has signed a security agreement with Montenegro, the small Balkan state, worth $35 million. And statements from both Israel and from Montenegro today, they acknowledged the increasing cooperation and growing ties between Israel and the Balkan state. So these are your top stories making headlines today. Don't forget you can check out our content, which is updated daily on our website at www.layoftheland.online. You can read Martin Alperstein's amazing article, which says that you can either be a pebble or a flame. If you want to know more about what I'm talking about, check it out on our website. If you can't get to our website, check it out on our Facebook page. While you are there, like us or follow us. We are at Lytle Site. Don't forget to share our content and invite your friends to do the same. We also know that many of you are frustrated that the mainstream media doesn't carry Israel's side of the story, but we do. And you can support us by checking out our YouTube channel at the Israel Brief, and simply click on the subscribe button, and every time that there is a brief posted, you will be notified. Help us get Israel's side of the story out to the world. So with the Monday edition of the Israel Brief, I'm Rolene Marks, and we'll speak again tomorrow.